Hey there, this is Kickin' It with Lupus, and this week we're going to take you on a little camping trip and give you some tips and tricks on how to camp and go fishing and hiking and whatever activities you love to do outside, and we'll teach you some ways to help make it a little bit easier when you're dealing with lupus or arthritis. So let's go. So Dallas and I, we talked about how we've changed around our camping style. We love to camp, but now, we have this new normal. And I just want to give you a few tips and tricks of how to incorporate camping into a life with arthritis or lupus. So first and foremost, I want you to make sure you always bring your pills with you, no matter where you're at, no matter how long you're going to be away. It's really important to stay on the same pill regimen that you have. Super important. Please do not stop taking your pills. Even if you feel better, always make sure the doctor is the one who tells you to stop taking your pills. Don't make that decision on your own, okay? When we're camping, you use your hands a lot. My hands get so stiff, so sore. One quick trick that I have is these little carabiners. They're great for tying things together. Just the simple act of tying can be so difficult for us. Just clip on a carabiner, you're done. Another little trick I like is, you know how we use heating pads so often for our joints. Well, you can make your own camping heating pad very simply. Ace bandage, hand warmers. Pop it open, shake it up, wrap your knee, whatever you want, stick it in there. You're good to go all night. That'll also help keep your body temperature warm. For those of us who have issues, with our extremities getting too cold. If you also experience something like being unable to cool yourself down, which I also do, I recommend these bandanas that are submersible. They're cooling bandanas, and they come in, hat form like this. They come in handkerchief form, I guess, to tie around your neck. What you do is you dip them, soak them in water, about 3-5 minutes, pull it out, stick it on your head, around your neck, cool you down very well. Trust me, I recommend those. Always make sure you stay out of the sun. Like I said, I like spray sunscreen. I go with a 70. This is actually the generic brand of what I use, but it's pretty cheap. Umbrella. Let's see, another thing that we've done is we like to go fishing, and I used to have a really big fishing rod and a pretty heavy reel, just because of the type of fish that we were going after. Because of my wrist issues and my hand grip issues, we've downgraded to this super light reel and rod, and it's so much easier on my wrists. Yeah, so that was a really great idea. It just took off the pressure from my joints, and I still get to do the same activity that I love. So Nellis now is going to talk to you about a little bit about how we've changed our camping style, and I'll let her tell you how.
I'll tell you a little bit about our campsite. So Suzanne and I usually camp in, more remote, off the beaten path type of areas. But now that she has lupus, we've decided to pick a campsite based off of comfort. And if there's one message you should take away from this video, it's that you shouldn't let lupus stop you from doing the things that you really love, like camping. And you'll see up above me, there's actually a toilet not too far from us. It's not exactly the ideal place to go camping, but it hasn't been horrible. It's just been easier for her. So that's been really great. Another thing is that we have this table, which is typical with, more populated campsites like this. But this table is actually wheelchair accessible. So if Suzanne needed to use her wheelchair later today, we could just roll her wheelchair up against the table, and she'd be quite comfortable there. Another thing is that you can see that we have our tent over this way. Our tent is much bigger than what we would normally use. We usually use a small 2-person tent. I think that's either a 6 to an 8-person tent, so it's much bigger, but she can actually stand up in it, which makes a big difference, so she's not getting up and sitting down and getting up and sitting down, or crawling out of the tent. It's just more comfortable for her. And you can see that the area overall is much more populated than where we usually camp. But I have to admit, this hasn't stopped us from enjoying our trip. We've seen quite a few moose, beaver, bald eagles. We had 2 bucks come through our campsite late last night. So get out there and enjoy God's good earth, and don't let lupus stop you.
So this is our new tent. It's not a backcountry tent. It's a 6-person family tent, and the reason we got it is because it's so much room that I don't need to crouch anymore. I can just stand up straight. Come on in, I'll show you around. So another upgrade we did was we connected our new airbed to a very light, simple jump box, and by doing that we were able to get an entire airbed here, and not just any airbed, but one that is pretty high. It's a queen size bed. I don't have to bend down to get on it. It's up to over my knee, so that's great. Also, this new tent allows me to have a sitting area, so I don't have to squat on the floor and get up again. And even though we have a toilet real close, we also have this little guy for if I need to go in the middle of the night and I don't want to have to get all my clothes on, because even just changing and stuff can get me tired. So this is our new setup. It's great. It has a great window, lots of airflow, and I'm loving the new space. So when you're hiking, you want to use, of course, any walking aids that you have. Hiking sticks work really well for me. Right now it's about to rain, but I usually have a undershirt that's UV protected about to 45, and of course my pants that turn into shorts, which is nice. And you got to make sure that you put plenty of sunscreen on. A UV hat is always nice. And for sunscreen recommendations, I do a 70 SPF, I guess it's called, 70 SPF in the spray form. It's easier for me in my hands. So yeah, and then I always make sure I wear a wrist brace for my cane, and of course my arthritis gloves for gripping the handles and stuff. And that's how you go on a hike with lupus and arthritis. So here we are at Agnes Lake, Colorado. We just did about a little less than a mile hike in the Rockies, and something that I like to do is bring a little bottle of Biotine mouth spray, just for those of us who have dryness issues. If it be medication or certain kind of syndrome that you might have that might dry up your tear ducts and your mouth, your saliva glands. So this mouth spray works really good. I also use it at night because I was drinking so much water to keep my mouth dry. I had to get up and use the restroom so often that kept me awake, but this has been a lifesaver. I think we paid about, what, I can't remember how much we paid. You can pick this stuff up at Walmart even. So again, you've seen plenty of times, always bring a walking aid. Another thing I like to do is wear hiking boots that go up past my ankle, just because my ankles are very strong right now. So this just gives me a little bit more stability when I'm walking, especially on rocky outcrops like this. And you know, you shouldn't be ashamed to ask for help. I always have Nellis carry-our bags, so just so I don't have to extra weight. And yeah, again, you see my wrist guard and my arthritis gloves for the gripping, and it just sort of, you know, helps absorbing some of that pressure on my wrist. So, and that's how I was able to make it up to Agnes Lake.
Hey there. So another tip for camping with lupus is that instead of doing some of the intense activities that we would normally do, like, I don't know, hiking, kayaking, mountain biking, canoeing, whatever it might be, is to do something that's a little less intense, like fishing. And we love fishing. We always do lots of fishing whenever we go camping, but since Suzanne's been diagnosed with lupus, it's just been easier for us to spend more time fishing, which is just as fun. But that's another tip, so take it easy and don't do any intense activities so you don't wear yourself out and can enjoy your full camping trip.
Well, there you have it, folks. Thanks again for watching Kickin' It with Lupus on behalf of Nellis and myself. See you next time.